I'd always viewed gaming tables with a curious eye, but the ones I had seen looked more at home in a dungeon than in my dining room. While there's certainly an audience for that sort of decor, it never really appealed to me. As such, I never gave gaming tables serious consideration. That is, until I ran across the Dresden. Bandpass Design is the woodshop behind the Dresden Gaming Table, and from the moment that I saw the photos on their website, I was taken. Its clean, modern design not only would accommodate my favorite hobby, but it also functioned as a beautiful piece of furniture. And then I saw the price. After recovering from a momentary bout of shock, I thought owning one would be relegated to fantasy. It was only after some good fortune that we decided to make the purchase. Bandpass offers a number of size, style, wood, and fabric options. We opted for the XL in the mid-century modern style. It measures 90 by 52 inches with an inner plane area of 66 by 36 inches and can comfortably seat 8. In this configuration, the optional dining top comes in 4 sections that lies atop the bamboo armrests, which provides a nice contrast to the darker walnut we selected for the main table. Assembling the dining top does take some getting used to. There are bumpers on the underside of the panels that line up with the various indentations along the armrests. Getting the panel in the right position without being able to see where it needs to go is not an easy prospect, but after doing it a few times, I started to develop a sense for it. Once one end is lined up, the remaining panels can slide in, just making sure to match up the colors of the tabs to one another. Although the awkward size coupled with the heavy weight of the panels means that assembly is best accomplished by 2 people, I typically do it by myself. This did lead to a few scratches on the armrests, which is unfortunate, but after some practice, I've been able to avoid further damage. Once assembled, the Dresden stands out by not standing out. It looks like a piece that you would find at a nice furniture store. I appreciate the subtle curve at the ends and the slight bevel along the dining top. The legs are sleek and stylish with brass tips to give it a bit of flair. I'm by no means an interior designer, but I'd be hard-pressed to think of how I would make the table look any nicer. It's not without its faults though. The panels don't lie completely flush, which is noticeable when sliding diningware across the gaps, and it does seem to sit a bit higher than a normal table. You might have to adjust your elbows a bit to get comfortable. I'm relatively tall, so it doesn't give me much issue, but it is noticeable. Truthfully, we eat most of our meals at the kitchen counter, so the dining top is only in use when we have guests. The panels are stored in the optional keep, which holds them vertically against the wall. It keeps these large objects out of the way, and I'm glad we opted for this option. With the gaming vault revealed, the star of the show is in full display. The armrest is wide with chamfered corners, which makes resting my arms on them for multi-hour sessions very comfortable. It's adorned with 8 player stations, 3 on each side and 1 at both ends. These stations include a cup holder, a card slot, and a counter holder. The cup holder works as intended, though I wish there was some way it could accommodate a mug for the coffee drinkers of the group. The usefulness of the card slot and counter holders is dependent on the game. When keeping your cards secret is vital, it may be best to avoid using the card slot, as it's easier to unintentionally view another player's cards in that position, and keeping certain counters or resources in the holder can obscure them from players sitting across the table, so keep that in mind if knowing that information is important to the game. They are nice touches, but they don't make or break the experience. Between some of the stations are dice bins built into the table. They are lined with the felt of your choice, which gives the dice a nice sound when rolled. I love the idea of them, but in execution, I find them a bit lacking. The dice bins along the edges are too narrow. Rolling more than a few dice makes it difficult to actually grab them without disturbing the results. The dice bins on the edges are wider and much friendlier to use as a result, but I still don't use them all that often. Rolling dice in a recessed bin takes away from the communal enjoyment of rolling dice. There's something special about everyone's eyes focus on the dice as they roll on the table. The collective cheer doesn't really happen when only 1 or 2 people can see the results. But all is not lost. I find that the bins work great as a storage place for hidden resources and money. No need to fumble with player shields or other apparatuses in order to hide your goods. After I received my table, Bandpass started offering covers to give you more real estate along the armrests when the bins aren't in use. While I can't comment on their quality, it does seem like a nice option and one that I wish that I had. Inside the gaming vault is an optional insert with velveteen on one side and a speed cloth on the other. Both playing surfaces are great, though I have a slight preference for the velveteen. Picking up cards and tokens is easy regardless of which side you use. Cards glide a bit better on the speed cloth, but whatever material is used behind this cloth gives dice a bounce that can surprise you. These are minor differences, and whichever side you play on is a joy. A large part of what I enjoy about board games is their physical nature. Touching, feeling, and moving things around in a shared space engenders a sort of intimacy that is special to the experience. Is a special surface required to facilitate the experience? Absolutely not, but it does add to it. There are threaded inserts along the inner edge of the vault to accommodate pegs. You can lay the insert on the pegs so that it sits flush with the armrest if you don't want to look down into the space that you play your games in. I actually like the lowered surface, and inserting all the pegs does take some time, so I don't really switch things up all that often. There's no way around it. The Dresden table is a luxury item with a price to match. If I sit back and think about it, it's actually kind of silly. A purpose-made table for me to play board games that cost more than a used car? But lots of life is silly. I play silly games and make silly videos about them. But it makes me happy, and that's not silly at all. If you're looking to upgrade your play surface, honestly, you're probably better off with some sort of mat. You can play the same games with the same friends and have the same fun, all at a fraction of the price. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that there is something special about sitting at a purpose-built table to play games. There's a sort of implied ritual that happens. We are sitting here for a purpose. We are sitting here to play games. We are sitting here to be together. The Dresden stands out for its style, but it's the function that won me over.